Let's take questions from exercise 16. Question number 1. It says, in what ratio two varieties of tea, one costing rupees 25 per kg and the other costing rupees 30 per kg, should be blended to produce blended variety of tea worth rupees 28 per kg? This is a simple question of alligation method. So 25 and 30, their average should be 28. So we have done this method. Difference of 25 and 28 should be written here. Difference of 30 and 28 should be written here, 2. So the ratio is 2:3. This 2:3 is the ratio of required ratio of quantity. So the answer is 2:3. Alright. Let's say question number 2. It says, in what proportion must tea worth 75 paisa per packet to be mixed with tea worth rupees 5.50 per packet, so that the mixture may cost rupees 4.50 per packet? Similar question. We have to take 75 paisa is 0.75 and 5.5, right? And their average should be 4.5. So difference of 0.75 and 4.5 should be written here, and that will be 3.75. Similarly, the difference of 5.5 and 4.5 should be written here, so that is 1. So the required ratio is 1:3.75. If you simplify, it will be 100:375, and if you cancel by 25, it will be 375 divided by 25 would be 15. So it is 4:15 is the required ratio. Okay. Now question number 3. It says, how much tea worth rupees 25 must be mixed with 20 kg of tea worth rupees 30, so as to sell the entire mixture at rupees 27 per kg and incur neither profit nor loss. Alright, so 27 should be the average. Okay, so 25 is the cost of the first one, 30 should be the cost of the second one, and the average price should be 27, because we do not want any profit or any loss. So the difference of these two, 27 minus 25 is 2, 30 minus 27 is 3. So the ratio of quantities is 3:2. Right? Ratio of quantity we have got is 3:2. Now it's given here that the first one is 20 kg. No, the second one is 20 kg. So this 2 stands for 20 kg. Alright. So how much will 3 stand for? So very clearly 2 10 times is 20. So 3 10 times will be 30 kg. So the required quantity of the first one is 30 kg. 30 kg is the answer of this question. Okay. Now the next question, question number 4, same as 3. How many kg of sugar costing rupees 5.5 per kg must be mixed with 60 kg of sugar? Alright. So let's say 5.5 rupees, and the second one is 4.8 rupees. Alright. And the average worth or the final worth is 5.25. So 5.25. So difference of 5.5 and 5.25 will be 0.25. 0.25. And the difference of 4.8 and 5.25 would be 0.45. Alright, which is, so the ratio of these two quantities will be our required answer. This is the ratio of quantities. Right, so this is 45:25. If you divide by 5, it is 9:5. So ratio of quantities is 9:5. Now the second quantity, which stands for 5, is given as 60 kg. So the 5 stands for 60 kg. You can apply unitary method and calculate. So 5 12 times is 60. So 9 12 times would be 108 kg. So the required quantity of the first sugar is 108 kg. Alright. Now the next question, question number 5. It says, how many kg of sugar costing rupees 5.75 per kg should be mixed with 75 kg of cheaper sugar costing 4.5 per kg, so that the mixture is worth 5.5 rupees per kg? Again a question of alligation method. So 5.75 and the other one is 4.5, and the average worth is 5.5. So difference of 5.75 and 5.5 should be written here, that is 0.25, and the difference of 4.5 and 5.5 is 1. So it is 1 is to 0.25, which is 100 is to 25. 100 is to 25, which is 4 is to 1. Now, which quantity is given? The second one. Second one is given. A second one is 1, and 1 stands for 75 kg. All right. So 1 stands for 75 kg. So 4 will stand for 4 into 75, which is 300 kg. So the first quantity has to be 300 kilograms. All right. The next question, question number 6, pretty much similar. How much water be added to 14 liters of milk worth rupees 5.4 per liter so that the value of the mixture may be rupees 4.20 a liter? Now see, milk price is given 5.40 liters, 5.40 rupees per liter. And the water price, assuming water is free, so water price is 0. And the average price should come out to be 4.20. So the difference of 5.4 and 4.2 would be 1.2, and the difference of 0 and 4.2 would be 4.2. So the required ratio will be 4.2 is to 1.2, that is 42 is to 12. If you divide by 6, it will be 7 is to 2. So the required ratio of these two quantities, so milk is to water ratio is 7 is to 2. Now, milk is already given 14 liters. That means the 7 stands for 14 liters. That is multiplied by 2. So this 2, the water quantity, must become 2 into 2. That is 4 liters. So the required quantity of water is 4 liters. Okay. Let's take question number 7. In what ratio must water be added to spirit to gain 10% by selling it at the cost price? Now, question number 7. It says in what ratio must water be added to spirit to gain 10% by selling it at the cost price. Now this is a direct question of profit loss, where we had learned that whatever is the defect upon the actual into 100 is the profit percentage. Now here we can directly say profit percentage is equal to, now the defect is water and the actual thing is spirit. So water by spirit into 100 should be the profit percentage. Now in this case, profit percentage is already given 10. We have to find water and spirit ratio. So into 100. So we get, from here we get water by spirit is equal to 1 by 10. So water is to spirit ratio is 1 is to 10. So this is a simpler question. This is more of a profit loss question than average. So water to spirit ratio should be 1 is to 10. Now question number 8. We can straight away do this. In what proportion water must be added to spirit to gain 20% by selling it at the cost price? We straight away say that profit percentage is equal to water by spirit into 100. Now profit percent in this question given is 20. Now water is water, W, spirit is S into 100. So from here we get W by S, that is the ratio of water and spirit, is 20 by 100. And now 20 by 100 is 1 by 5. So the required ratio of water and spirit is equal to 1 is to 5. Okay. Then let's take up question number 9. It says 300 gram of salt solution has 40% salt in it. So the first solution is 40% solution. And the second one that we are adding is pure salt. So it must be 100% salt. And the final mixture that we get is 50% salt. Now we can apply the alligation method. Difference of 40 and 50 is 10. Difference of 150 is 50. So the required ratio becomes 50 is to 100, 50 is to 10, that is 5 is to 1. So the solution quantity is given is 300 gram, that stands for 5. So 5 is for 300 gram. We can apply simple unitary method. So 5 is 300 grams, it is 60 times. So 1 will be 1 into 60, that is 60 grams. So that means the second one we need to add is 60 grams. So pure salt to be added in this question is 60 grams. That is the answer. Now we come to question number 10. Question number 10, it says 729 milliliter of mixture contains milk and water in the ratio 7:2. How much more water is to be added to get a new mixture containing milk and water in the ratio 7:3? This is a direct question of addition. I'm sure you remember that we have done it in the theory section that we apply. This is a question of addition and we are adding water. So what we can do is for milk we can apply that formula. For milk we can straight away take it like initial concentration into initial volume should be equal to final concentration into final volume. I hope you remember concentration is quantity of that particular component divided by total. Now initial ratio is 7:2 where milk is 7, water is 2. So initial concentration for milk will be 7/9 into initial volume is 729. Now final concentration, remember final ratio is given 7:3, so final concentration of milk will be 7/10 and final volume will be 729 plus x is the added quantity of water, right? Suppose we are adding x milliliter of water. I'll repeat, concentration is the component divided by total. Now ratio of milk and water initially is 7:2. So concentration of milk will be 7 by total 7 plus 2, that is 9, into initial volume is 729 milliliters. In the final situation, ratio of milk and water is 7:3. Alright. So concentration of milk in the final situation will be 7 divided by total, that is 7 plus 3, 10. Into the total volume in the final situation will be original 729 milliliter plus x milliliter water that we are adding. So our answer will be x, right? Now do some calculation. So 7 cancels 7, 9 cancels 729, 81 times. Then 10 comes to this side. So 81 into 10 is 810. I'm sorry. 810 equal to 729 plus x. So the required quantity x would be equal to 810 minus 729, that is 81 liters. Okay. So this is what we have done earlier also. This is a question of addition. Sorry, it is 81 milliliter. Now in question number 11, as you can read, it is a question of replacement, right? So if you remember, for replacement, what did we have? We had a formula that says final concentration is equal to initial concentration into 1 minus R by V. That's it. This is for ones, okay, and to the power n. N is the number of times the replacement happens. Fc is the final concentration, Ic is the initial concentration, R is the replaced quantity, and V is the original volume. All right. Now this is a question of replacement. It says a vessel is filled with liquid, 3 parts of which are water and 5 parts syrup. Okay. So that means initial concentration, and we are replacing by water. So we have to do it for syrup. All right. We are replacing by water. So we have to do it for syrup. Right. So we don't do it for the quantity that is added. We always do it for the one that is not added. So initial concentration of syrup would be equal to 5 divided by total, that is 8. 3 plus 5, 8. All right. And then if the question says how much of the mixture must be drawn off and replaced with water so that the mixture may be half water and half syrup. That means final concentration of syrup would be half water and half syrup would be 1 by 2. So we put it in the formula and we get Fc, that is 1 by 2, Ic, that is 5 by 8, into 1 minus R by V. We don't have to calculate R and V separately, we have to find R by V. Now here we are doing it only once, so N is 1, right? Then we do the calculations. 2 cancels 8 4 times, 4 goes on the other side, 5 comes to the denominator, it becomes 4 by 5 is equal to 1 minus R by V. So from here we get R by V is equal to 1 minus 4 by 5, which is R by V is equal to 1 by 5. So the replaced quantity is 1 by 5 of the volume. So the question says how much of the mixture must be drawn off? So the answer is 1 by 5. 1/5 of the mixture should be drawn off. Okay. Now let's take question number 12. It says a container contains 40 liters of milk, From this container, 4 liters of milk was taken and replaced by water. So this again is a question of replacement. All right. This process was repeated further 2 times. So here we are given with the value of R, that is 4 liters. We are given with the value of V, that is 40 liters. And N is given total 3 because we are repeating it 2 times. So the total N value will be 3. Alright. How much milk is now contained by the container? Okay. So we can still apply the same thing, that final quantity, we can apply the same formula. Final quantity is equal to initial quantity into 1 minus R by V to the power N. Here in place of concentration, we can also take quantity. So final quantity is, or let's say final concentration is equal to, initial concentration of milk is 1 because it is pure milk. When it is pure milk, the total concentration of milk will be 1. Alright. Into 1 minus R is 4, V is 40. So 4 by 40 to the power 3. Now 4 by 40 is 1 by 10. 1 minus 1 by 10, so it is 1 by 10. 1 minus 1 by 10 is 9 by 10. So it is 9 divided by 10 to the power 3. So final concentration of milk is 729 upon 1000. Now this is the final concentration, right? The volume is still 40 liter because we are replacing by water. Okay. And we are doing the whole process for milk only. Alright. Now, so I'll just repeat here, it is for milk. Okay. Now the question says how much milk is now contained. Now this is the concentration of milk, right? So the quantity of milk would be equal to the concentration of milk into the total volume. Now final concentration is 729 upon 1000 into the volume is 40 liters. So you multiply and simplify. 0 is 0 cancel. 729 into 4 would be 28. 2916 by 100. So it is 29.16 liters. So the milk quantity in the final situation is 29.16 liters. Okay. Now there is another method of doing question number 12. There is another method for doing question number 12. And that is like this. Look at the question. It says 40 liters of milk and replacement is 4 liters of milk. That means 4 is 10% of 40. So every time the milk quantity would reduce by 10%. So initial quantity of milk is 40 liters. 4 liters are taken out. So that means milk quantity would reduce by 10%. Why? Because 4 is 10% of 40. So 10% of 40 will reduce. So 4 liters will reduce. It will become 36 liters. Now in the next step, we are still withdrawing 4 liters out of the total 40 liters because the total volume still remains 40 liters. Remember, we are removing 4 liters, but we are adding 4 liters of water. Okay. Now in the next case also, the total volume is still 40 liters. 4 liters are withdrawn. So in any case, whatever is the remaining quantity, out of that 10% will be removed. So whatever is the milk quantity, that is 36 liters now, out of this 10% will be removed. So 10% of 36 would be 3.6 liters. Subtract to get, you will get 32.4 liters. Now again in the third step, because still the total volume is 40 liters because we have replaced by water. Whatever we have taken out, we are replacing by water. So the total volume at any stage will remain 40 liters and we have to remove 4 liters, so that is still 10%. So we remove 10% again of 32.4, that will be 3.24 liters. So if you subtract 3.24 from 32.4, you will get 29.16 liters. So this is another method. This is the final quantity of milk. Right? So this was another method of question 12. Now let's take question number 13. It says in an examination, out of 480 students, 85% of the girls and 70% of the boys passed. How many boys appeared in the exam if total pass percentage is 75? This is a normal question of allegation. 85 is the pass percentage of girls, 70 is the pass percentage of boys, and overall pass percentage is 75. So difference of 85 and 75 is 10. Difference of 70 and 75 is 5. So the ratio of number of people in these two groups, or ratio of quantities, is 5:10, which is 1:2. And the total, so the ratio of first group is for girls and second group is for boys. So ratio of girls to boys is 1:2 and the total is 480. So we need to find the number of boys. So basically divide 480 in the ratio 1:2 and find the number of boys. So number of boys would be equal to 2 divided by 3 into 480. Okay, so we have to divide 480 in the ratio 1:2. Now 3 cancels 480, 160 times into 2 will be 320. So the number of boys is 320 in this case. Okay. Now question number 14. It says there are 65 students in a class, 39 rupees are distributed among them so that each boy gets 80 paisa and girl gets 30 paisa. Find the number of boys and girls in the class. Okay. So you see in this case we can apply different methods. If we apply a simple equation method in this case, let's not go to averages. Let's apply the simple equation method. Suppose there are X boys and Y girls. So X plus Y is equal to 65 and every boy gets 80 paisa. So the amount with boys would be 80 into X and amount with girls, every girl gets 30 paisa. So amount with girls will be 30Y because there are Y girls and the total amount should be equal to 39 rupees convert into paisa. So it becomes 3900. If you simplify a little bit, you will get 8x plus 3y is equal to 390. So we have two equations, x plus y equal to 65 and 8x plus 3y equal to 390. Multiply the first equation by 3 and subtract from the second equation. So I write again 8x plus 3y equal to 390 and subtract the first equation into 3. So it is 3x plus 3y equal to 65 into 3, that will become 195. So if you subtract, you will get 3y cancelled and 8x minus 3x will become 5x equal to 390 minus 195. This must become 195. Alright, so x is equal to 195 by 5, which will give us 13 5s, so 39. So x is equal to 39 and if you put it in the first equation, you will get y equal to 65 minus 39, that is 26. Now we had assumed x to be number of boys and number of girls to be y. So there are 39 boys and 26 girls in this class. Now question number 15. Again, it's a simple question of alligation. It says the average monthly salary of employees. So overall average is 3,000 rupees. Average salary of officers is 10,000. So 10,000 is the salary of officers and for workers it is 2,000 and the overall average is 3,000. So the difference of 10,000 and 3,000, that is 7,000 and the difference of 2,000 and 3,000, that is 1,000. So the required ratio would be 1:7. This is the ratio of number of officers to number of workers, right? And there are total of 400 employees. So divide 400 in the ratio 1:7, right? This 1 stands for officers and this 7 stands for workers. Okay, now the question is find the number of officers and workers separately. Okay, so we divide 400 in the ratio of 1:7. So the number of officers would be equal to 1 by 8 into 400. 8 cancels 450 times, so it is equal to 50. And the number of workers would be the remaining people, that would be either 400 minus 50 or you can divide from ratio 7 by 8 into 400, that is 350. So 8 cancels 450 times, 50 into 7 is 350. So there are 50 officers and 350 workers. Okay. Now question number 16, pretty much same as question number 15. It says the average salary per head of employees is 100 rupees. Average salary of supervisors is 600 and average salary of laborers is 75 and the overall average is 100. So 100 in between. 600 minus 100, the difference is 500. 175, the difference is 25. So the ratio would be 25:500, which is 1:20. Now in this question, please read the question carefully. It says the number of laborers is 840, right? So this 20, it represents laborers and this 1 represents supervisors. The total number of laborers is given 840. So this 20 is for 840. That means 1 will be how much? So we can straight away calculate by unitary method. It will be 1 by 20 into 840. That will be the number of supervisors. right? I repeat, 20 stands for 840. So 1 will be 1 by 20 into 840, which is equal to 0, 0 cancelled. 84 by 2 would be 42. So there are 42 supervisors in the factory. Now let's take question number 17. It says, a man buys 2 cows for rupees 1350 and sells one so as to lose 6%, the other so as to gain 7.5%. So the total cost price of 2 cows together is 1350. And on the first one, he loses 6% and the other one he gains 7.5%. So let me put it this way. There are two things. On the first one, there is a loss of 6%. So it should be written as -6. And the other one, there is a profit of 7.5. And overall combined, there is no profit, no loss. So overall average is 0. So we apply the alligation method. The only thing we have to be careful, the difference between -6 and 0, that is 6. And the difference between 7.5 and 0 is 7.5. Right? So be careful for this. So the required ratio is 75 is to 60, which is 5 is to 4. So required ratio of cost prices. Here the quantity would be the cost price. Here the overall profit percentage, whenever we apply, the base is always the cost prices. So ratio of cost prices is 5 is to 4. And the total of cost prices is 1350. Right? This is still a question of averages. Okay. So 5 is to 4 is equal to, we have to divide 1350 in the ratio of 5 is to 4. So the first one, let's say the cost of first one would be 5 by 9 into 1350. So 9 cancels 1350 150 times. So 150 into 5 is 750 rupees. Okay. And the second one, similarly, you can calculate it is 4 by 9 into 1350, or you can subtract 750 from 1350. So it becomes 150 into 4, that is 600 rupees. So the cost prices of cows are 750 rupees and 600 rupees. Okay. Now there is one more way of doing question number. Sorry. Now there is one more way of doing question number 17, and that is like this. Let's assume that the cost prices are X and Y. So X plus Y is equal to 1350. And on the first one, there is a loss of 6%. So the loss value will be 6% of X. And on the second one, there is a profit of 7.5%. So profit value is 7.5% of Y. Now from here, the question says there is no profit, no loss. That means whatever is the loss on the first one, the loss value should be equal to whatever is the profit on the second one. Okay, simplify this. So you'll get 6 by 100 into X is equal to 7.5 upon 100 into Y. So 100 and 100 get cancelled. We get X upon Y equal to 7.5 upon 6, which is 75 upon 60, which is 5 upon 4. So we get the ratio of prices as 5 is to 4 and the total to be 1350. Right? So we can straight away calculate the values or cost prices of these 2 cows as X equal to 5 by 9 into 1350, which will give us 750 rupees. We have already done this calculation. And Y is equal to 4 by 9 into 1350, which is equal to 600 rupees. Alright. So this was another way of doing the same question. Okay. Now question number 18. Now look at this. It says a trader has 50 kg of sugar, a part of which he sells at 10% profit, the rest at 5% loss, and he gains 7% on the whole. So let's apply alligation method. On the first part, he gains 10% profit, so plus 10, and the remaining he loses 5%, so minus 5. But overall there is a profit, so it is plus 7. So the overall average of plus 10 and minus 5 is plus 7. So the difference of 10 and 7 is 3, written here. And the difference of plus 7 and minus 5 will be 12. This is where people make mistake. The difference of plus 7 and minus 5, that is 12. Right? So the ratio of quantities will be 12 is to 3, that is 4 is to 1. And the total quantity given is 50 kg. So divide 50 kg in the ratio 4 is to 1. Right? So the quantity sold at profit would be equal to 4 divided by 5 into 50, which is 40 kg, and quantity sold at loss would be equal to 1 by 5 into 50, which is 10 kg, or 50 minus 40, that is 10 kg, right? Now let's take question number 19. We can still apply the alligation method. It says a person has rupees 5,000, that the total amount is 5,000. He invests one part of it at 3%, remainder at 8%. His total income in 3 years is rupees 750. We'll again do it with two methods. Find the sum invested at different rates of interest. Now let's see. First, you calculate the total income of 3 years as a percentage of 5,000, right? Or the rate, overall rate, right? So here we are given with interest, total interest. Total interest is equal to 750 rupees, right? And we can calculate interest with the formula of simple interest, that is SI equal to PRT upon 100. SI given is 750, P is given as 5,000, rate we have to calculate, and time is 3 years, so divide by 100. So 0, 0, 0, 0 cancelled, this 0 cancels this 0. Now 5 cancels 75 15 times, and 3 cancels 15 5 times. So R is equal to 5%. That means the overall rate is 5%. Okay. Whereas the original rates in the two parts were 3% and 8%. So the average of 3 and 8 should be 5. We can apply the alligation method. The difference of 3 and 5 is 2. Difference of 8 and 5 is 3. So the ratio of quantities or ratio of amounts invested is 3:2. And the total amount is 5,000. So if you divide 5,000 in the ratio 3:2, the first one will be 3,000 rupees and the second one will be 2,000 rupees. So very simple way of doing this question, right? So in this question also we could have applied alligation method. Now the other method for the same question is the normal process. The normal process, as in, let's say the amounts are x and y, so x plus y would be equal to, other method of question number 19. So x plus y is equal to 5,000. Now we have the first part, that is x, and the interest is rate is 3%. So 3 years interest would be 3 into 3, that is 9% of x. So we can straight away calculate as, let me do it this way. We can apply still the PRT by 100 formula for x and y. So for the first one, x is the amount, rate is 3%, time is 3 years, divide by 100. On the second one, amount is y, p, rate is 8%, time is 3 years, divide by 100. And this total should be equal to 750. Alright, so if you simplify a little bit, you will get 9x plus 24y, and the 100 goes to the other side, it becomes 75,000. If you divide by 3, it will become 3x plus 8y is equal to 25,000. Okay, so now we have two equations, x plus y equal to 5,000 and 3x plus 8y is 25,000. So multiply the first equation by 3 and subtract from the second equation. So second equation is 3x plus 8y equal to 25,000. The first multiplied by 3 will give us 3x plus 3y equal to 15,000, and then subtract. So we have minus, minus, minus. So 3x and 3x get cancelled. 8y minus 3y is 5y is equal to 25 minus 15 is 10,000. So from here we get y equal to 2,000. That is the investment in the second one. And if you put in the first equation, you'll get x equal to 3,000. So the amounts invested are 3,000 and 2,000. Okay. Now question number 20. It is pretty much similar to the question number 19. First you calculate the net interest rate. Alright. And for that you have to do PRT upon 100. The question says some amount of rupees 7,000 was lent at 6% per annum and the remaining at 4% per annum. The total simple interest from both the fractions in 5 years was 1,600. So this PRT by 100 is equal to 1,600, right? The value of P is 7,000 plus into R, that is we have to calculate, and T is 5 divided by 100 is equal to 1600. Okay, so 0, 0, 0, 0 get cancelled, 0 gets cancelled, this 5 cancels 160, 32. So R is equal to 32 by 7 percentage. Don't convert into decimal, let it be in fractions. Okay, now we had the initial amounts to be invested. The first one was invested at 6% and the second was invested as at 4%, and the overall average, the overall percentage that we have calculated is 32 by 7. So the difference of these two will come here, that is 32 by 7 minus 6. No, it is 6 minus 32 by 7. It is 6 minus 32 by 7 because 6 is bigger. This, it is 6 minus 32 by 7 because 6 is bigger than 32 by 7. So it is equal to 42 minus 32, that is 10 by 7. That is the second quantity. Now the first quantity will be 32 by 7 minus 4. So 32 by 7 minus 4 would be equal to 28. So 4 by 7. So the amounts ratio would be 4 by 7 is to 10 by 7, which is equal to 4 is to 10, which is equal to 2 is to 5. So the amounts, investments are in the ratio 2 is to 5. We are given with the total amount as 7,000 rupees. So total amount is 7,000 rupees and it has to be divided in the ratio 2 is to 5. So that means the amounts are very clearly, as you can see, 2,000 rupees in the first one and 5,000 rupees in the second one. Be careful of the order. Okay. Now it says what was the sum lent at 6%? 6% means the first amount. So the answer would be 2,000 rupees. Alright. And similarly, we could have applied the other method for the same question. Now let's take another method for question 20. Other method is the normal method. So other method for question number 20 would be like this. Let's assume the amounts to be x and y. So x plus y is equal to 7,000. On the first one, so this is the first equation. Now on the first amount, that is x, we have a rate of 6% and duration is 5 years. So the interest can be calculated as TRT upon 100, that is x into 6 into 5 upon 100. And on the second one, that is y into rate is 4 into t is 5 upon 100. And the total interest should be equal to 1600. Alright. So we have, from here we have 5 cancels 100 20 times. 2 cancels 6 3 times and 20 10 times. Similarly, 5 cancels 100 20 times, and don't cancel by 4, cancel by 2 so that you have same denominator. So 2 cancels 4 2 times and 20 10 times. So we have 3x plus 2y upon 10 LCM equal to 1600. So we have 3x plus 2y equal to 16,000. This is the second equation. We have to solve these two equations to get the values of x and y. So let's do one thing. Multiply the first equation by 2. So we get 2x plus 2y is equal to 14,000. And subtract this from the second equation, write it above, 3x plus 2y equal to 16,000. So if you subtract 2y gets cancelled and we have 3x minus 2x, that is x, equal to 2,000. If you put it in the first equation, y will be 5,000. So the amounts invested are 2,000 and 5,000. Alright.